said Horrocks. The threatening hole was not so evident that time, and Ra felt a little reassured. But all the same, what on earth did Horrocks mean about "What is death and red as sin"? Coincidence, perhaps? They went and stood behind the puddlers for a little while, and then through the rolling mills, where amidst an incessant din and deliberate steam hammer beat the juice out of the succulent iron, and black half-naked Titans rushed the plastic bars, like hot sealing wax, between the wheels. "Come on," said Horrocks in Rock's ear. And they went and peeped through the little glass hole behind the tree ears, and saw the tumbled fire withing in the pit of the blast furnace. It left one eye blinded for a while. Then, with green and blue patches dancing across the dark, they went to the lift by which the trucks of ore and fuel and lime were raised to the top of the big cylinder, and out upon the narrow rail that overhung the furnace. Ra's doubts came upon him again. Was it wise to be here? If Horrocks did know everything, do what he would, he could not resist a violent trembling. Right underfoot was a sheer depth of 70 feet. It was a dangerous place. They pushed by a truck of fuel to get to the railing that crowned the place. The reek of the furnace, a sulphurous vapor streaked with pungent bitterness, seemed to make the distant hillside of Hanley quiver. The moon was riding out now from among a drift of clouds, halfway up the sky above the undulating, wooded outlines of Newcastle. The steaming canal ran away from below them under an indistinct bridge, and vanished into the dim haze of the flat fields towards Bislem. "That's the cone I've been telling you of," shouted Horrocks, "and below that, 60 feet of fire and molten metal, with the air of the blast frothing through it like gas in soda water." Ra gripped the handrail tightly and stared down at the cone. The heat was intense. The boiling of the iron and the tumult of the blast made a thunderous accompaniment to Horrocks' voice. But the thing had to be gone through now, perhaps after all. "In the middle," brawled Horrocks. "Temperature near 1,000 degrees. If you were dropped into it, flash into flame like a pinch of gunpowder in a candle. Put your hand out and feel the heat of his breath. Why, even up here, I've seen the rainwater boiling off the trucks, and that cone there is a damn sight too hot for roasting cakes. The top side of it's 300 degrees. 300 degrees, said Ra. 300 centigrade mine, said Horrocks. It will boil the blood out of you in no time. "Hey," said Ra, and turned. "Boil the blood out of you in—" "No, you don't. Let me go," screamed Ra. "Let go my arm." With one hand he clutched at the handrail, then with both. For a moment the two men stood swaying. Then suddenly, with a violent jerk, Horrocks had twisted him from his hold. He clutched at Horrocks and missed. His foot went back into empty air. In mid-air he twisted himself, and then cheek and shoulder and knee struck the hot cone together. He clutched the chain by which the cone hung, and the thing sank an infinitesimal amount as he struck it. A circle of glowing red appeared about him, and a tongue of flame, released from the chaos within, flickered up towards him. An intense pain assailed him at the knees, and he could smell the cinching of his hands. He raised himself to his feet and tried to climb up the chain. And then something struck his head, black and shining with the moonlight. The throat of the furnace rose about him. "Horrocks," he saw stood above him by one of the trucks of fuel on the rail. The gesticulating figure was bright and white in the moonlight, and shouting, "Fizzle, you fool! Fizzle, you hunter of women! You hot-blooded hound! Boar! Boar! Boar!" Suddenly he caught up a handful of coal out of the truck and flung it deliberately lump after lump at Ra. "Horrocks!" cried Ra. "Horrocks!" He clung crying to the chain, pulling himself up from the burning of the cone. Each missile Horrocks flung hit him. His clothes charred and glowed, and as he struggled the cone dropped, and a rush of hot, suffocating gas swooped out and burned round him in a swift breath of flame. His human likeness departed from him. When the momentary red had passed, Horrocks saw a charred, blackened figure, its head streaked with blood, still clutching and fumbling with the chain, and writhing in agony. A cindery animal, an inhuman, monstrous creature that began a sobbing, intermittent shriek. Abruptly at the sight, the ironmaster's anger passed. A deadly sickness came upon him. The heavy odor of burning flesh came drifting up to his nostrils. His sanity returned to him. "God, have mercy upon me," he cried. "Oh God, what have I done?" He knew the thing below him, save that it still moved and felt, was already a dead man, that the blood of the poor wretch must be boiling in his veins. An intense realization of that agony came to his mind and overcame every other feeling. For a moment he stood irresolute, and then, turning to the truck, he hastily tilted its contents upon the struggling thing that had once been a man. The mass fell with a thud and went radiating over the cone. With the thud, the shriek ended, and a boiling confusion of smoke, dust, and flames came rushing up towards him. As it passed, he saw the cone clear again. Then he staggered back and stood trembling, clinging to the rail with both hands. His lips moved, but no words came to them. Down below was the sound of voices and running steps. The clangor of rolling in the shed ceased abruptly. End of the cone.